I will give credit when credit is definitely due. This episode of RWBY finally concluded the Blake arc that has overstayed its welcome for far too long, but on top of that, it gave us a very good fight scene with Sun that kind of corrects some of the issues that many of us have been having for this entire volume of RWBY. So I'm glad that it seems like this episode was the step in the right direction. However, even though it is the step in the right direction, it doesn't automatically remove the past flaws. But on top of that, though, even some fights in this episode wasn't the best. However, it was, like I said, a step in the right direction. So I will, like I said, give credit when credit is due. So anyways, to get right into it, let's talk about how epic Gira was in this episode. I know many of you want me to talk about Sun and what he did and all that, but I want to talk about Gira, Blake's father. Gira, straight up savage mode. This man manhandling the brothers, just grabbing them, slinging them around and all that. This man gets stabbed in the back, okay? This man gets stabbed in the back. And you see this, like, blade go right in him. It was pretty deep. It was, like, that much in his back. I'm like, that should have, like, punctured a lung, just hit some form of a vital, important organ, but he was still going on. This man was still moving on like a monster. This man straight up just going in, fighting back against these two brothers. And then once all of that was done, he manages to save Ilya by grabbing the falling piece of the roof or whatever. Just like, that was an incredible scene. I'm just gonna give props there. Like, Gira, my boy, like, I liked you, I liked your voice actor and all that, because of how iconic the voice actor is, but just seeing that, I'm like, okay, I like that character. I really like Gira's character. I liked how, epic he was, and how he just went in and was just demolishing these two, and how the brothers, they were getting really angry, like, they were yelling and all that, especially when Ilya wasn't really helping at all. She's just watching, and like, what are you doing? Help and all that. Fight. Why aren't you fighting? I'm like, it just shows that these two are struggling against this man, and he's just going savage mode. So Blake's father, don't underestimate this man. This man will wreck you. Now, speaking of Blake's parents, let's talk about the Kali stuff real quick. So, Kali, she didn't need saving. She actually managed to save herself. Okay, I'm fine with that. However, I want to discuss something that popped up. Yuma. Now, you might not know who that is, but Yuma is, the faunus, like the bat faunus dude we saw that, Kali took out. Yuma has a very, very important and iconic voice actor. The voice actor of Yuma is Nick from Team 4-Star, Dragon Ball Z Abridged. He voices Vegeta. And I was like, are you telling me that character, Yuma, that has Vegeta's voice actor from, Dragon Ball Z Abridged was just taken out like that with a tea tray? Like, this man was taken out with a tea tray. Like, the man was knocked out with a tea tray. Like, yo, my boy, like, what, like, you were knocked out with a tea tray. Like, seriously, this man is not going to be able to talk about that, because that's probably one of the most embarrassing things to probably get knocked out with. I mean, Blake's mother, Kali, just comes in, grabs the tea tray, he's like, wham, right on this man, knocks him out. And now, we don't know how far that, fight went. We don't know if she just smacked him once and he was knocked out, or she just straight up manhandled this man, grabbed him up by the shirt or whatever. It's like, bam, 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 or whatever, with the freaking tea tray. We don't really know. However, we do know that she was using it, and we can assume that it probably knocked him out, because she dragged him and threw him out the door and all that. So, yeah, Kali, tea tray, yeah, you don't mess with her. She'll mess you up. She'll straight mess you up with that tea tray. So that was pretty funny. I do like how she was able to defend herself, and she wasn't like a damsel in distress like we normally see from shows or anime, manga, or any form of literature. I'm glad she wasn't. That actually makes me a little bit happy with the Rooster Teeth's writing. So anyways, to get right into it though, let's talk about the fighting. So overall, majority of the fights in this episode, they were average quality, some slightly below average. Mainly the scene that seemed below average to me was the Blake and Ilya fight. That seemed like overall to me. And the Gira stuff, that was like an average scene, average fighting and all that. And then when we get into the Sun stuff, now that was probably the best action we have seen since, Monty and all that, may he rest in peace. But it was the best action that we have, seen. And I was like, okay, I'm glad to see this. I'm glad to see that Rooster Teeth is actually trying to carry on Monty's legacy through showcasing promising some really good fighting scenes, and that's what we got right there. I was like, this is really cool. I like this. I like what Sun was doing. I like seeing his power once again. I like seeing how he was helping out Gira. I just liked all of that about that scene. It definitely stood out to me, and I'm like, I would like to see more of this. This is a step in the right direction, Rooster Teeth. This is a step in the right direction, RWBY. Make sure to have more of this. Now, like I've said, that I'm not one of those people that need action every single second. I'm not one of those type of people. However, when it comes to RWBY, it is a series that does thrive off of action, and this is also Rooster Teeth that, wrote Red vs. Blue, and action is a big thing of these type of series that Rooster Teeth makes, and so if it didn't have at least action every 2 episodes or 3 episodes, it'd be kind of like weird or jarring, and that's why many were complaining, and so I do hope that at the very least, if we don't get action scenes every single week, at the very least when we finally do get one, hopefully it's quality, top quality, and it just, mesmerizes all of us. Are like, whoa, this is good, this is amazing stuff. Hopefully Rooster Teeth takes that path with the series. So yeah, overall, I think the fighting in this episode, it had a mixed amount. It was good, some kind of and then some was really good, for instance, the Sun stuff. So anyways, besides that, we also have the stuff with what's going on with Ozpin and, Crow, RWBY, stuff like that. So we get some clarification. Clarification that the cane that Ozpin has been holding around for a very long time is not a relic. It's not an ancient relic by any means. It just has sentimental value to Ozpin, and that is why he carries it, why he holds on to it. It's just because it has a lot of meaning to him. Now, we don't know exactly why it has meaning to him, since it just says it's only valuable to him. It's not a relic, so that means it's not important for the entirety of the world. So I want to assume, if I'm taking an educated guess, I want to assume that cane has something to do with maybe some form of past lover or relationship he's had or family member, something like that. That's what I'm assuming that cane represents. I could be wrong there, but I'm going to assume that's probably what that means, since it holds a personal value to him instead of anyone else. It's just personally to him. I'm going to assume it's just someone he's lost in the past many, many years ago. Now, anyways, let's talk about the convo. So, besides all of that, though, we also find out that the place is getting a lot darker. For instance, the world is. Because Salem is gathered a lot of strength, and every day she's getting a lot stronger, and many more huntsmen and all of them, they're just, dropping like flies. And you have it to where Ozpin and Crow, they realize that Leo was lying to them. That Leo has definitely been corrupted. He is not someone that is no longer on their side. They've realized this, and they're very worried, and it just shows how much power Salem has and what she is currently doing. So that kind of gears us up for the final conflict of Season 5. So I am looking forward to seeing how Rooster Teeth handles that. Now, speaking of handling stuff, let's go back over into the Blake stuff. So, Ilya, she survives in this episode, and she manages to make the right decision to help out the Belladonnas. So, overall, I'm going to just be completely honest. I don't really care much for Ilya. I'm just going to be honest here, okay? I'm not even going to lie. I don't care much about Ilya's character. I like her interaction with Blake and how she's being used to develop Blake as a person, but I personally don't care much about Ilya's character, and I think she's fascinating in certain ways, but I don't think she is amazing yet. Like, I'm not completely attached with her, but she was saved in this episode, which I'm glad she made the proper decision, but I'm assuming, okay, I'm just assuming that Rooster Teeth is going to probably be saving her for a potential death scene for the future with Adam. Because if Rooster Teeth didn't want to kill her in this episode, I'm going to assume that she's going to be used as a sacrifice later on down the road for when Blake finally confronts Adam with Ilya. Adam is probably going to take down Ilya right in front of Blake, and then that's going to cause a whole big issue and big dramatic scene. I could see something like that happening, because it seems like Ilya's character right now, she's more of like a character that's going to be used to progress Blake's character and develop her, and I feel like that's the direction Rooster Teeth wants to take, is by killing off Ilya to put Blake on a certain path, a direction where she can develop and grow. I can see that happening, and hopefully I'm not the only one that thinks that, because of the direction of way Rooster Teeth is taking her character, especially in this episode. So yeah, I think that's about it. I mean, yeah, the arc is done, finally. We can finally move past this Blake arc, and Blake can finally catch up with everyone else, like Yang, RWBY, and Weiss, and all that. Looking forward to it. So I'm glad to see progression. It was a good episode, step in the right direction. So yeah, good job, Rooster Teeth. You made up for, recent kind of boring / bad episodes. I'm happy to see that. So I'm going to end it there. I love you guys. If you enjoy my content, please subscribe. If you like this video, please leave a like. And also, happy holidays, everybody. I love you guys. Please be safe. Chibi out.